CM Punk is a huge sellout, and what he said here is a big reason why I feel that way. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to Screw the Script. I'm your host, as always, Maverick here. Thanks for joining me on this Wednesday. We have Dynamite tonight. By the time you are watching this video, Dynamite will have concluded, so let me know down in the comments what your favorite part of Dynamite was, favorite match, favorite promo, whatever it may be. Just keep the likes and comments coming. It really helps me in the algorithm. And if you're new here, or if you've been watching for a while and you aren't actually subscribed yet, I would much appreciate a subscribe from you guys. My next big goal is 10,000 subscribers. I actually have picked out what I'm going to do for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So in my next video, I will be covering what that idea is and how you can get entered in for that. Let's get right into Raw and the CM Punk stuff that I brought up at the very beginning of this video. My claim that CM Punk is a massive sellout. Here's why I feel that way. Take a look right up there. CM Punk had a promo with Roman Reigns this past Monday night on Raw. Really, the only memorable thing about Raw, there was only 3 fucking matches. It was a huge waste of my time, as usual. There was a few highlights that I do want to go over, a few things that I did like, but majority of the show, again, was a slugfest. It was hard to get through. I mean, 3 matches when the show was well over 2 hours. That's unacceptable, WWE and TKO. I cannot believe you haven't changed your formula after how piss poor you did in 2025 when it comes to pro wrestling and storylines. Sure, you had a good year financially, but like I've brought up before in the past, and I've seen people in the comments bring this up too now, you can be a huge box office hit and make a ton of money in the box office, but be a flop, a terrible ass movie. That's exactly what WWE and TKO feels like nowadays, is they make a ton of money, but it feels lifeless. It's so generic and boring most of the time. There's very few highlights. What Punk said off air, and what's interesting about what happened on Raw, him and Roman Reigns are feuding for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's probably going to be the main event for night 1 of WrestleMania, is my guess. But he goes on to say this via GQ Sports. CM Punk says he doesn't differentiate a night 1 WrestleMania event from night 2. Honestly, I don't differentiate between the 2 nights. I think that's just a way for people who are sad about their own lives to try and diminish something. I mean, Rock did a night 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin did a night 1. Who am I to say it's not a main event? That's just silly semantics to try to hate on somebody that you don't like for whatever reason. Wasn't Punk the one who diminished it by saying, go ahead, leave main event night 1 for a buy one, get one free extravaganza, and so on? Here's that clip for that reference right up here.
Be my guest. Go ahead, leave main event night 4 of a buy one, get one free extravaganza, and then get released faster than you last in the sack.
Why would he say that? He's a sellout. He's a huge-ass hypocrite. He went over to Saudi Arabia twice now, I believe, since returning to WWE, all for money. You know, it's like the $1 Million Man's quote, or, you know, saying everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. Well, guess what? Everybody's got a price, apparently, for TKO and WWE. Even a guy who is so hard against WWE for 7 or 8 years before he finally returned to in-ring wrestling, or however long it was, I think it was somewhere around there, he has since sold out. CM Punk now stands for Check Made Punk. He's made by checks. Dollar checks, you know. Who knows how much they offered him to go over there again. He's going completely against everything that he said in that AEW promo that I just brought up, in that interview. It's laughable, honestly. And tying off on Saudi Arabia, it looks like WWE is planning more Saudi Arabia PLEs in 2026 following the Royal Rumble. This was as expected with WrestleMania. They'll probably do a SummerSlam there in the future, Survivor Series. It's probably, I'm going to just go off on a whim here and say by 3 years' time, WWE is going to have 50% of their PLEs in Saudi Arabia. Take that how you want. I really don't want to see that happen, but unfortunately, I feel like it is going to inevitably happen with WWE. There was a few highlights on Raw. I'm going to get over that now real quick because it wasn't all bad. I will say a lot of people got live and even watching at home when Gunther came out to AJ Styles' music. We never, I believe, ended up seeing AJ Styles, even though he was marketed to be there. So that was kind of a slap in the face when it just ended up being Gunther playing off as him. I don't like that because there was a lot of fans there that were wanting him. I mean, sure, it makes Gunther even bigger heel and look more like an asshole, which good for him, but again, he doesn't need the rub. I don't get why this is going to continue, and it's only going to go further with Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio, all kinds of greats from WWE that are going to get retired by him, essentially. Then you had a mixed bag. Obafemi absolutely looked phenomenal on his Raw debut. He looks great in the Rumble, and he looks great on his Raw debut. I just don't like, on the flip side of this coin, I don't like that it was the War Raiders that got absolutely demolished by him. One of the few tag teams in WWE that I think feels like a legit tag team and isn't just guys randomly thrown together. So I didn't like that. Maybe they're on their way out and they just decided to eat a squash by Obafemi, but hey, like I said, mixed bag. I am glad to see the NXT Call-ups getting pushed really well. That is the major positive for WWE in 2026 so far. Not much else other than that. Most of it has been pretty negative. We saw Dominic Mysterio return as well, and they have been hurting to have him on TV because it's really just been Braun Breaker that's been holding the weight. And I guess Logan Paul for the men's division of younger talent in the company that is not 35, 40, 45, 50 years old, like 90% of WWE men's wrestlers are. So that was good to see as well. Did anybody remember seeing the movie Benchwarmers back in the early 2000s? Well, here you go, right up there. That's your Benchwarmers. And honestly, you could probably throw LA Knight in there too, because these wrestlers are just getting wasted. 3 of the 4 jumped ship from AEW to WWE. Well, actually, 2 of them, and Rusev and Aleister Black, were in WWE, went to AEW, and now went back, and they are just, bench warmers, along with Rey Fenix and LA Knight. They are not getting pushed. They're not properly getting pushed like they should. LA Knight came out with a shirt that I want to show up here. That's the actual thing. Unchosen. My way is what it says. Here's what I think it should say. Take a look at that. A little bit better, right? Unpushed. That's what I would say would be a more fitting word on that shirt. LA Knight is in his 40s. Yet again, not going to main event a WrestleMania. If I were him, I would walk my ass out of WWE as soon as possible. Now on to some very quick TNA stuff before I finish the video with AEW news. Thursday Night Impact actually did see another increase. I'm genuinely shocked about this. Just over 200,000 viewers. Impact has a long way to go to even reach AEW's B show, I would say. Dynamite is definitely their A show still. We'll see how long the surge lasts. I will be genuinely shocked if it continues to go up and gets anywhere close to 250,000 views. I think eventually it will level off, but we'll see what happens with Thursday Night Impact. Now on to some AEW news. Apparently, Tony Khan and AEW are expected to make AJ Styles a significant offer to join the company once he is available. That is huge news. It was noted that no offer has been made at this time, but that AEW is eagerly awaiting his next move after retiring from WWE at the 2026 Royal Rumble. And that's from Fightful. It's interesting because I also have read rumors that a lot of AEW talent have been talking about AJ Styles left and right backstage. That makes total sense. He's got a lot of friends in AEW, tons and tons of dream matches. I actually did a poll with you guys. Actually, let me bring that up right now while I'm recording this, and we'll see where that poll landed. So 363 of you voted. Thank you. That's my biggest poll yet. And it looks like 56% of you said yes, 1 to 3 years, and 23% of you said like a final run, sort of like a Danielson run, like 12 to 15 matches within a year and then retires. And only the remainder of that said no. So a majority did say yes in some sort of way for AJ Styles to return. It would be very, very fitting for him to wrestle in AEW. He would have instant classics. Steve Borden is continuing to climb his way into AEW onto television at some point. Tony Khan had some great things to say about him, even securing the rights to the classic WCW era theme Turbocharged, which is a song famously used by Sting early in his career, and maybe that'll be Steve's entrance music, it seems like, when he does debut on television. He did have the match with Sting, and Sting's final match teamed with Darby Allin when him and his other brother showed up to help them towards the end. But that was it. Everything else that he has done so far has been on dark matches, but he's still relatively young. I believe he's in his late 20s, early 30s. So if he, ends up being live on TV some point in 2026, he still has a great and long career ahead of him. We'll just see if he can live up to the icon Sting's name. I asked what you would see his name be. Someone said Stung, which really made me laugh. Do you think he just goes by Steve Borden, son of Sting? Let me know down in the comments what you would call him. Collision this past Saturday. The numbers are in. I made a video last week saying that Tommaso Ciampa changes everything, and my God, was I right. Look at this huge ass increase in viewership, 31%, almost 500,000 viewers for Collision, and that doesn't include HBO Max. I watch both Collision and Dynamite on HBO Max. Likely they did well over 500,000 views, and that was on the same day as the Royal Rumble, competing with, I believe, a boxing event, other sporting events. Saturday is a tough day for any show to do really well with numbers, because Saturday is always packed with sports and other pay-per-views and PLEs and things like that. So I think this is a fantastic get for AEW and Collision, and Tommaso Ciampa does change everything. He is a draw. The Ciampa is here, and he is a draw. And lastly on this video, Clark Connors is believed to have signed by AEW Wrestling, signed by AEW. Are we going to see all of the War Dogs? We have Clark Connors officially coming in. It sounds like Gabe Kidd, I don't believe is officially signed yet, but I've predicted for months now that he will be at some point officially signed. So that just leaves David Finlay as the three main War Dogs anyways. There are conflicting reports I'm seeing out there that he may go to WWE or that he does join his teammates in AEW. Let me know down below what you think is going to happen with David Finlay. I'm excited. Clark Connors 100 Proof had a really good match against Darby Allin this past Collision, and I hope that he gets pushed really well with Gabe Kidd going into 2026. I'm very intrigued to see where this storyline goes after they jumped Darby Allin last Saturday on Collision. That's all I had in this episode of Screw Script. You let me know down below your thoughts on everything that I covered, the CM Punk stuff, your thoughts on Raw, your thoughts on Collision from Saturday, and any other questions you may have for me. Again, let me know what your favorite part of Dynamite was, as at the time of this upload, you will be watching this after AEW Dynamite for this week. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.